Hi, and welcome back to BizDev Weekly, the business development show. So have you seen that code floating around there, that square squiggly thing with a bunch of little digits in it? Well, that's a QR code. And you know what? Pull out your phones and scan that code right now, and you'll get a great offer right now. How many of you are actually doing that? Probably not too many, right? Well, there's different techniques to use this QR code that do work. And we're here with Chris Hamilton from salestipaday.com. And Chris, maybe you can enlighten us on ways in which this actually works for businesses.
Absolutely, Kersten. Thanks for having me. I think one of the things you have to think about is with any kind of strategy, you have to kind of think through how you're going to deploy it. I'll start out first with a reason actually why I say that is QR codes relatively, they've been cropping up quite a bit over the last year or two, and people start using them. But one of the funniest examples that I heard about using QR codes was actually in the subway system in London, where people had to pull out their phones and scan the QR code in order to hit a website. Well, think about it this way. You're buried way underground with no cell signal. And why would you put a QR code on something that's in basically a cement bunker? So it didn't work. Not well thought out. So Kersten, to your point, you have to really think about well thought out and how you're going to utilize it. And I'm going to give an example how I use it. There's one, if you can see it on my card there. I'm not going to hold it up too close, but I do have it on my card, which is, I get these from moo.com. And you can switch these out every month. I do short runs of these things so that I can change that QR code on a monthly basis and direct people through to a landing page. But one of the ways that I actually recently used it was I put a letter together. Instead of having a long, verbose letter with benefits and stuff, I had a QR code that was relatively large on it with an arrow pointing up to it and said, do you want to get hundreds, if not thousands of sales leads a year? Scan this and see it. Right? And with the whole idea of trying to push someone through. And that was all the letter was, with just my piece of information in there. Now, that's one way that you get people to take a look at it. In fact, I got a client off it because he looked at it and thought, this is actually kind of cool what you did here. Now, what I did on the back end of this is even different, though, is I sent an email to every single person that I sent this letter to with a, hey, by the way, recently sent you a letter. It had this QR code in it. Let me help you out with this one. It directs you to this link here and click on it. And it took people through to a process that I use with a home mailer service for Calgary contractors. And that's basically a follow-up process. And when I did it that way, my uptake on that one was actually quite significant as well. So, you have to think about your process as you're using these sort of things and how you would be using them in order to do something that would engage someone or capture a name or an email or anything like that. You got to use these things the proper way. Once again, don't use them in the subway system in London, England, because you ain't going to make it happen or anything like that. So,
well, and they're used a lot in trade shows where there's a lot of people combined. And I think when you have enough people together and a lot of these QR codes, what happens is people do pull out their phones. If you do have some information like a video or some kind of a sign-up form, and people are prepared and ready for it. I mean, if everyone sees QR codes around and everyone has time, they're gonna install the app. A certain percentage of people are going to use it. Now, in a video show like this, well, guess what, Chris? Actually, I'm just going to scan it right now. And look at that. salestipaday.com. That's who I have. So anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. It's another great tool that's it seems to be gaining popularity, and it does seem to work when you kind of combine it with other marketing ideas. Thanks again for joining us, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Kersten.
And thank you all for joining. Check it out, salestipaday.com. You can also check out newlucid.com for more business shows and different ideas in which to leverage the new age marketing world. Thanks very much for joining.